welcome back to my V-Pod. Yes, my V-Pod. If you're new here, welcome. This is Harches with Musti podcast. My name is Anu Oluwapo. Thank you for joining us. If again, this is your first time, welcome. Okay, and if this is not your first time, well, welcome back. I know it's been a minute, but yeah, welcome back. Okay, so remember the previous post that I posted on my page saying that I was working on a series, right? So today is the start of that. Okay, so we're going to be starting a series called Women in the Bible. Really, I don't know what to call it yet, but it's a series that has to do with women in the Bible, warriors in the Bible, female warriors in the Bible. So that's what we're going to be discussing. And it was just laid on my heart to, do that. And you guys know that I don't post anything if I'm not led to. So even if you don't hear from me for months, understand that something is probably in the works, or I'm just not supposed to be posting anything during that period. Okay? But now I've been led to do this and I'm just following instructions. Okay? So, as I was saying, we're going to be starting a series, just talking about the women in the Bible, the warriors, the female warriors in the Bible, right? And I know it's going to touch someone's life. I know that this series is going to be very, very impactful, for people, even for myself, for me that I'm speaking. I know it's going to be impactful and I know you're going to learn something from it, okay? So, with that being said, today we're going to be looking at a phenomenal woman, a mother, a warrior, a prophetess. I'm sure you probably know who I'm already talking about, but we're going to be looking at her today, and while studying her, I just learned so much because it's a lot. But yeah, so this episode might be broken into two because I don't want it to be too long. I just want us to touch on certain things and I really want us to go into details, of what, she is all about. So it might be broken into two parts, okay? So, with that being said, today we're going to be looking at Sister Debbie. Sister Debbie. Alright, she's a whole sis, a whole mother. Deborah. That is who we're going to be talking about today. Deborah. Now, the story of Deborah is going to be found in Judges chapter 4 and 5. As small as those chapters are, there's a lot packed in those chapters. So we're going to be reading chapter 4 and touch on a few verses in chapter 5. Okay? So I'm going to be reading Judges chapter 4 and I'm going to be reading the NIV version. And it says, "Again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. Now that Ehud was dead, so the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, the king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. Sisera, the commander of his army, was based in Harosheth. Higoyim, all these names. Because he had 900 chariots fitted with iron and had cruelly oppressed the Israelites for 20 years. They cried to the Lord for help. Now the Israelites, let's understand certain things now. Now the Israelites had been oppressed for 20 years. 20 years they couldn't do anything. 20 years they were in depression. They were going through so many things. They were oppressed for 20 years. And now they cried to the Lord for help. Now imagine someone being oppressed for 20 years. That's crazy. So now the Israelites were oppressed for 20 years and then they cried to the Lord for help. Now, verse 4. Now, Deborah, a prophet, the wife of Lapidoth, was leading Israel at the time. She held court under the palm of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill of country of Ephraim. And the Israelites went up to her to have their disputes decided. Now here it's talking about a woman named Deborah, a prophet, a wife of Lapidoth, right? She was the one that held, she held court. She was a judge. She would settle disputes, between people. She would have disputes decided. She was a judge. Now verse 6 says, she sent for Barak, son of Abinoam, from Kadesh in Naphtali, and said to him, the Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go take with you 10,000 men of 10,000 men of Naphtali and Zebulun, and lead them up to Mount Tabor. I will lead Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his troops, to the Kishon River, and give him into your hands. Verse 8 says, Barak said to her, if you go with me, I will go. But if you don't go with me, I wouldn't go. Verse 9 says, certainly I will go with you, said Deborah. But because of this course you're taking, the honor will not be yours, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman. Sure, you see how you women, you have power, but you didn't know. You have power, but you didn't know. So instead, the Lord said he will deliver Sisera into the hands of a woman. I think sometimes people underestimate the strength of a woman. And even we women ourselves, sometimes we underestimate the strength that we've been given, the strength that we have. So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. Now verse 10 says, there Barak summoned Zebulun and Naphtali, and 10,000 men went up under his command. And Deborah also went with him. Now the story goes on and on. I don't want us to read the whole chapter or the whole, but you can read that in your own time, so you just have an understanding of what we're talking about, right? So you have an understanding of what we're talking about. Now, first of all, Deborah. So before we go into that, we're going to read Judges chapter 5, verse 6 and 7. Judges chapter 5, verse 6 and 7, verse 6 to 7, and then we'll read verse 12. So Judges chapter 5, verse 6 says, in the days of Shamgar, in the days of Shamgar, son of Anath, in the days of Jael. We're going to be talking about Jael next month, August. Yes, Jael is a whole vibe. Okay, son of Anath, in the days of Jael, the highways were abandoned. Travelers took the winding paths. Verse 7, villagers in Israel would not fight. They held back until I, Deborah, arose, until I arose, a mother in Israel. I'll read verse 7 again. Villagers in Israel would not fight. Therefore they held back until I, Deborah, arose, until I arose, a mother in Israel. Now remember, in chapter 4, we already read that the Israelites were oppressed for 20 years. Now the Israelites were oppressed for 20 years. It means till Deborah arose, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't fight. They couldn't do anything. They were oppressed for 20 years until somebody woke up, until somebody got up, until someone had to rise up and say, no, I will fight for these people. I will intercede for these people. Now, what are you doing right now? What is it that you're holding back from? What is stopping you from rising, from getting up? Because people are waiting on you. People are waiting on you to get up and fight for them. It means Deborah was a voice for the people. So whose voice, who do you need to speak up for? Who do you need to intercede for? You need to get up. You need to get up because people are being oppressed because you haven't gotten up. Because you're too comfortable, you're in your comfort zone, you don't want to step out. People are being oppressed, people are dying, people are hurting because they're waiting on you. Verse 7 says again, villagers in Israel would not fight. They held back until I, Deborah, arose. Somebody has to rise up. Someone has to get up. Until I, Deborah, arose, until I arose, a mother in Israel. She was a mother. A mother is not just somebody that takes care of her personal family, but she looks beyond her own, beyond herself. That is a mother. She's just not concerned about her thing, her stuff, but she's concerned about every other thing apart from her. So she was a mother in Israel, but she was also a mother over Israel. Because remember, she held court in Israel, right? She was a judge. And she was a leader. She was a leader. So she wasn't just a mother in Israel, she was also a mother over Israel. Now we're going to read verse 12 rather. Verse 12 says, wake up, Deborah, wake up, break out in song, arise, Barak, take captive your captives, son of Abinoam. The part that I love is wake up, Deborah, wake up, arise and break out. Arise and break out, break forth. You need to break out of your comfort zone. You need to break out of where you are right now. You need to break away from, oh, I cannot do this. Oh, I'm not enough. Oh, I don't feel enough. Oh, I don't have enough to do. Break out, because that little that you have is what God is going to use to bless people. That little that you have is what God is going to use to bless people. So do not underestimate what you have. Next month, we're going to be talking about how Jael complimented what Deborah had and what she had done, because the story would not have been complete if Jael was not there. Even if Jael wasn't everything that Deborah was, but she played a part. The little that she had played a role in the victory. So our title for today's episode is Get Up, Deborah. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. There is something in you that needs to wake up, because people are waiting on you to fight. Without you, so many people would not be able to fight. Without you interceding for people, so many people will still be in bondage. But God has looked to you and He has thought about you, and He said you are the perfect person. God had to raise somebody to fight for them. So, woman of God, sister, niece, whoever you are, and this is not even just tailored to women, but these are things that I feel like guys can also, learn from. As a guy, you need to wake up, because there's so many people looking to you as well to be able to fight. Imagine being oppressed for 20 years because somebody somebody is not getting up. So Deborah clearly was a busy woman. She was a prophet, she was a wife, she was a woman of wisdom, a woman of revelation, a woman of discernment, a mother. She was a worshiper, a judge. A woman, a judge. So with verse 12 telling us to wake up, and arise and break forth. It is important that we need to wake up and understand the season we're in. We need to be alert and attentive to the things of God, because you cannot be sleeping when people are dying. You have to be alert. You have to be attentive. You have to be discerning for when to move. You have to be discerning for when to move, because trust me, right now we see so many things going on in the world, and we are currently in a season where God is about, and not is even about, He is moving mightily. He's about to do extraordinary things, and you do not want to miss out on that. So as a woman, please get up. Wake up. Break out. Break forth. Do not be stuck in your mindset. Do not be stuck where you are. Do not be stuck. I beg you. There's so many things we need to do. There's so many kids that need to be helped. There's so many men, women, children, aunties, uncles, parents. There's so many people that need you. There's so many people that need you. So as a woman, we need to seek the face of God. Because Deborah was a worshiper, she would always seek God in a secret place, waiting to hear His voice. She was also a woman that heard the voice of God, to know when to move, how to move, if to move. So please, it's time to get up. It is time to get up. I beg you. And this is not just for you, it's also for me. It is also for me. All right? So this is going to be the end of this first part one, because I don't want it to be too long. This is going to be the first part. So until next time, I will see you guys. And we're still going to be talking about Deborah again. And the next month we talk about, which is August, we talk about Jael. I think Jael is a sweetheart. I think she's amazing. I think she's smart. I think she's a very smart woman. So thank you so much for listening. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please follow, please share. Again, you can also follow me on Instagram. It's .htwm. I'm gonna be putting the handle below, so please follow. There are gonna be updates there, and part 2 is gonna be coming up soon, and this is just going to be so interesting, trust me. All right, thank you, and God bless.